Hey guys, I'm Adam Haig from 3D Games, and in this video I'm going to attempt to speed paint a Wild Warg Chieftain. So I'm going to set the timer for 1 hour. Let's see what I've got at the end of that. The miniature was primed black before applying a zenithal highlight with white scar, all done with rattled cans. This was followed by a dry brush of white scar to accentuate the raised details on the top of the model to highlight the areas that would naturally catch the light. For the Warg's pelt I wanted subtle transitions of colour, so to do this I prepared 3 different contrast paints. Skeleton Horde for the top areas of the Warg, Darkoath Flesh for the main body and midsection, and Basilicanum Grey for the head and legs. I started with Darkoath applied to the midsection. Then I applied Skeleton Horde over the top of the body and upper flanks of the Warg's legs. This is worked in quickly while the Darkoath is still wet, so the 2 colours can be blended together. Basilicanum Grey is then painted onto the lower legs and the face, again working in a subtle blend into the previous 2 colours. Wet blending contrast paints in this way creates a subtle transition of colour quickly while still allowing the fur texture to show without the need for dry brushing or highlights. Normally I would wait for this to dry before the next step, but the clock is ticking, so moving on. The inside of the mouth and tongue is painted with Khorne Red. I then wet blend Pink Horror to highlight the tongue. The gums are then carefully picked out with Screamer Pink. These are then highlighted with Emperor's Children, along with a final highlight on the tongue. The teeth are painted with XV88. Followed by a highlight of Screaming Skull. I wanted the face to have a bit more definition, so painted Stormvermin Fur onto the upper areas of the face and nose and the raised details around the mouth and scar. This was highlighted by adding a little Pallid witch flesh. Add more Pallid witch flesh and use this to add fine highlights to the top of the nose, brows and edges of the scar. The eye is carefully painted with Balor Brown. This is then highlighted by adding some Pallid witch flesh. The scars are picked out by first painting them with Khorne Red. I thinned the paint down so that it would flow easier into the fine scratches. The inside of each scar is painted with a 50-50 mix of Cadian Fleshtone and Pink Horror. The rock that he is standing on is painted with Basilicanum Grey. The leather boots and armour of the corpse is painted with Cygor Brown. Gor-Grunta Fur is used for the pants. The leather skirt is painted with Wyldwood. The green cloak is base painted with Castellan Green, and the raised sections of the cloak are highlighted with Deathworld Forest. All areas of the body's skin is first painted with Cadian Fleshtone. This is then highlighted with Flayed One Flesh. The hair is dry brushed with XV88, which is also used to dry brush onto the ends of the cloak, skirt and boots to create some weathering. An hour's up. Never mind, I'm going to carry on. To finish things off, I painted the eyes and inside of the mouth with Abaddon Black. Pallid witch flesh is used to paint dots into the eyes to give them a dead look. This is also used to pick out the teeth. The beard is painted with Dryad Bark and then highlighted with Steel Legion Drab. I wanted the rock to have a bit more depth, so I dry brushed it with Baneblade Brown, and then a light dry brush of Administratum Grey finished it off. I suddenly realised that I hadn't painted the claws, so these were picked out with Karak Stone. The corpse was finished by painting the chainmail with Leadbelcher, followed by a wash of Nuln Oil. So the painting took 1 hour 20 all up, and I'm pretty happy with the final result. Using contrast paints over a zenithal highlight works well to speed up your painting, though I'm unconvinced that it's any better than dry brushing over a base coat. Or maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Let me know your thoughts and opinions regarding painting minis fast in the comments section. Grumpy Dog will now join my 400-point Angmar force ready to take on the Rangers of the North. Here's hoping that the Ranger corpse he is standing on is a sign of how the upcoming battle report will go. If you'd like to support the channel, then please hit like and subscribe, and consider purchasing your hobby supplies through our affiliate links, which are listed in the description. Thanks for watching, and good hobbying, guys.